Hey everyone, David Bridges here, just checking in to say hi. Hope y'all are doing well. So here we are, pretty far into this pandemic quarantine. I think everybody's starting to hopefully get into some sort of a routine, do different things and whatnot. As you can see, I need a haircut. I've got this sort of like Jimmy Neutron Wolverine-esque thing going on. It's a little weird, but it is what it is. Barbershops are open though, so I might partake. We'll see. So kind of wanted to talk a little bit about a couple things that maybe you could do right now to help your day a little bit, help you sort of get things going in the right direction, because pretty soon, hopefully very soon, but pretty soon we're going to be out of this and we're going to be back to living a somewhat normal life and moving in the right direction. So we don't want to get stuck into some ruts that we may have created during this time. So a couple things that I wanted to talk about a little today. First things first is basic overall mindfulness. And mindfulness is basically the opportunity of looking at what you've got going on, what you're doing, and really focusing on just thinking and being present and in the moment. You know, we don't all do yoga or we don't all meditate or things like that, and that's not even necessarily what I'm suggesting, but just taking time to be aware, be in the moment, and think about what you're doing each day, every day, and just being mindful of everything that's going on. And that is something that we have time to do right now. And for some of you, it might be yoga. For some of you, it might be taking that time while you're working out or whatever that is. You know, everyone has different spots, and you know, if you have family or kids or anything like that and you can get away for a few moments, find out what those times are where you know you can be sort of undisturbed for 10 to 15 minutes and just sort of take that time to think about, you know, think about you, think about life and whatnot too. So developing routines is another thing that's very important right now. So think about splitting your day up, right? So developing a normal morning routine, a constant, you know, morning routine is something that I've found to be really helpful. You know, waking up at the same time, not sleeping the day away, sort of getting up and getting into a routine. What am I going to do every morning? Literally walking into the bathroom and brushing my teeth, washing my face, you know, doing a mud mask or whatever. And don't laugh, because you know me, you know I totally have probably been doing mud mask and charcoal mask and whatever, potato. But things like that, you know, what are you going to do? And then take that time to schedule your day. So I was talking with my ex-wife, and she was talking about the kids and how they have basically, she'll sit down every day and schedule out their day. Like, what are we doing today? Almost like you would on vacation. You know, your days on vacation sort of revolve around what you're eating, always going to be what you're going to eat for that day. It's almost just like we schedule everything we do around the meal, right? Well, maybe that's not the best way to do it, but she was saying that what they would do is they would basically have, you know, like, this is what we're doing from this time to this time. We have family time from this hour to this hour. Then you have free time from these few hours. And that's when you can do whatever you want. That's when you can, if you want to take that time and play Xbox or play outside or sleep or whatever that is, that's your time. And then dinner from this time to this time. And then we'd play a board game from this time to this time. And she was also talking about how they did like a very specific game, almost very detailed schedule. So it's not just like, tonight we're going to play a game. It'd be like, tonight we're going to play Cranium. Specifically Cranium, and you can let everybody pick and decide what they're going to do and things like that. And I thought that was a really good idea, sort of breaking out that day so everybody knows what we're doing every day. So it's keeping things on a actual routine, right? Obviously, with a morning routine would also come a bedtime routine. Now, I've been talking with a lot of you via phone call or text or email, and I've heard a lot of this, hey, I've become this crazy night owl where I'm staying up till 3 or 4 or even 5 and things like that, and then just sleeping till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I guess it doesn't really matter right now. If you think about it, you're like, well, you're home, you're not really doing anything, doesn't really matter, especially if you don't have any kind of, in the moment responsibilities, maybe other than a ferret or something like that. But if you don't really have that, and you have the ability to change your schedule like that, well, if you think about it, doesn't really matter, right? If you're getting that 8 hours of sleep and you're doing it from noon till 8 p.m., well, that's fine, right? But where it doesn't take long to develop a habit. I think that they always say that habits can be developed in 30 days. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. So the habit could be good or the habit could be bad. So if you're into that routine of sleeping or just not going to bed until 5 a.m., well, think about, what happens when we come back to work, when everybody goes back to work and you need to start being in at 9 or 10 or whatever that time is in the morning. Well, now you're kind of stuck in this routine of like, well, crap, I got stuck on this, staying up till the wee hours, and now I've got to actually respect normal daytime hours. So getting yourself in a normal bedtime routine is also something that I think is important as well, to continue to do that every day, right? Obviously, the last one would be the midday routine, right? So you've got morning routine, you've got a bedtime routine, and then having something to do during the day. If you've got activities that you can do, go outside, go for walks, whatever that is. I mean, it's going to be different for everybody, but scheduling that and actually say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, right? So you don't sit around and, fret about what you're going to be doing. Like, okay, like, all right, I'm going to work out. And then you have to basically spend, 15, 20 minutes putzing around of, whether or not you're going to work out. And if you're like me, it just doesn't happen, right? You're like, meh, I'll work out tomorrow, and it's almost getting to this tomorrow's too late kind of mentality. And I think that that's another thing that's important, is that midday routine as well, because you can have the morning, you can have the night, but then all of a sudden you've got all these hours of the day. It's like, well, what am I going to do, right? So that would be, here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to call these 3 friends. I'm going to, have a conversation with my mother. And, you all know that I, can't shut the hell up all the time. So you think that's how it is, like that's how I am with my mom. The two of us get on the phone and we'll just talk for like an hour and a half about nothing, right? So I'll schedule that time. Okay, I'm going to talk to my sister this day. I'm going to talk to my mom this day. I'm going to call my kids on this day. I'm going to do these things and kind of break that down so you can actually stay in touch with people. And, and if you end up calling your friend Steve every Wednesday at 2 p.m., well, that's fine. I mean, that's something that's part of that routine, then it might be good. It's a good way to make sure that you're staying on top of things. And the routine's the other thing as well. Couple other things that go along with these routines is a big one, and that is organization, right? So you ever try to be focused and I mean, think about this, right? So when we opened the restaurant, it was pretty disorganized, right? Because we don't know where anything's going, how things are working. So trying to do that and focus on doing a good job in the midst of chaos is a very tough thing to do, right? So if you have control over that, if you're able to organize your bedroom, clean your bedroom, organize it so it is a sanctuary, a safe place where you can go, it's clean, you're making your bed every day, you're doing everything that you need to do. That is something that is, I think, extremely important to make sure that you are organized, having that ability to get into areas and know that, okay, well, I'm organized. I mean, it's the same thing like if you go to the grocery store without a list, then you're going to spend, I mean, I know if I go without an agenda, I'm going to spend $200 just buying crap. Like, oh, $12 maple syrup. Sure, I'll try that. But if I have a list, I can be in and out and I can get what I need, right? Goes kind of with everything, right? So being organized, having yourself together so you have a organized, take this time to organize your sock drawer, organize your closet, whatever that is, so that organization is a big part of that, right? Another part is what I would say sort of like goal review. So we all have goals. We all have things that we want to work on, and we all have things that we've talked about. You know that I've spoken with you all in menu meetings and in emails about the whole concept of, you know, the 8 attitudes, or the gratitude, open-mindedness, objectivity, things like that, right? Those are things you can work on, but all of us have goals. All of us have things that we want to do, right? So it's a good thing right now, and to take this time, take this opportunity to break those goals down and start thinking about them, right? What are your daily goals? What are your weekly goals? What are your goals for the month? What are your goals for the year? What are your goals for the lifetime, right? This is a good opportunity to actually work and at least look at those goals and try and figure out what's the best, or not, I mean, just kind of figure out where you stand with your goals. And I think that all of us have certain things that we want to do, certain things that we need to do, but now's a good time to sort of, like, you know, maybe reevaluate, maybe take a look at your different ideas and thoughts and see, you know, see where you stand. What can you do right now towards that goal? Did you have a New Year's resolution? For most people, it's working out, right? It's, you know, it's getting back in shape, things like that. Well, you almost have that opportunity right now to do that more than you did, say, 2 months ago, right? So maybe it's a good idea, or maybe it's an opportunity to revisit that New Year's resolution, to revisit what you gave up for Lent, or whatever you had where you know, were trying to do certain things. Now might be a good opportunity to do that. So taking a look and kind of reviewing your goals, life goals, things like that, that's another good option to do too. Then lastly, I would say that, you know, take some time to do something nice. Do something nice, right? And it's like, do something nice for who? For you, for yourself? The answer is yes, right? Take this opportunity to do something nice for someone else, or do something nice for yourself, you know? I've talked with a couple of y'all that have, you know, been like, you know what, I'm going to treat myself to like a meal that I don't normally make, you know, so cooking a big meal, you know, get dressed up, you know, take a day and get fully dressed up, you know, in makeup, and not, you know, shower and clean up and everything like that too. I mean, things like that will just kind of make you feel better, kind of doing something nice for yourself. Doing something nice for someone else too. You know, if you have a bunch of stuff, like stupid things, like I had a bunch of jalapenos that I didn't really know what to do with, so I just pickled jalapenos and had like 10 jars, and then I delivered them to my family members and a couple friends and things like that. And it's something little, it's something nice, and no one's gonna be like, oh, thank God I got these pickled jalapenos, but it's just something, you know, something nice too. It also gave me something to do for a couple hours, is getting that all together, and you know, it was just like a little something extra. So taking that time to do something nice for either yourself or somebody else, I would encourage you to do that on a daily basis, right? No matter what that is, it's different for everybody. Everybody experiences joy a different way, right? We know this. We've talked about this over and over. So think about that. What can you do what's going to bring you joy? What's going to bring other people joy? What can you do to continue joy through this time of unease, right? So that's basically it. I mean, I think just wanted to chat with y'all for a few minutes about a few things that might be helpful, but start thinking about that. Start thinking about your routines. Start thinking about getting back on that schedule, getting yourself to a normal schedule, talking with people, getting, you know, exercising your brain, your mouth, your legs, whatever that is, doing those things over and over, and scheduling that time so you actually do these things, right? So just a couple tips, couple hopefully helpful things that we all could use, and that's about it. So again, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and keep watching, because we'll be putting some more stuff on here too. Andrea just posted another co-op on Redwood, so few things to go from there, and thanks a lot. All right, y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.